Hey, what's up, family? Hey, yo, I got this one that's off the top of my head, but honestly, this has been something that's been on my mind for a long time. Matter of fact, I touched on this book I read quite some while ago. I love going back and forth in this book and learn some new stuff. But I'm gonna title this video here, Useless Education. Now think about what I'm saying, folks. Useless education. Think about when you was back in school, all the useless stuff that you had to learn in school because it was part of the curriculum, right? But nowhere in the world is you using it. It is futile for you to use any of these things. And as always, you know I love to give y'all a word of the day. That's a simple short word, futile. What does futile mean? If you look it up, it simply means incapable of producing any positive results or pointless. It's just incapable. A lot of the stuff, not a lot, most of the stuff we learned in school was useless. Think about it. You tell me, how in the world you learning E equals MC squared ever helped you? Oh, wait, you can't. It never helped you. A lot of the stuff we learned, we had to learn about George Washington and all the presidents. I could ask almost anybody in this world right now today, and I say, who's the first president? Most people are going to say, yeah, George Washington. But then if I say, okay, who's the 14th president? Who's the 31st president? Who's the 36th president? Who's the 8th president? Don't nobody know that stuff. But at the time when we was in school, we had to learn that stuff. It was part of the curriculum. It was mandatory for you to learn that. But, like I always say, but, whenever you say the word but, that means you're going to say just the opposite of what was said before. It's a really nice day, but it's going to rain later tomorrow, tonight, whatever, right? Think about all the, as I said, the title of the video, useless education. Most of the stuff we learned in school was so useless. But how about this? I always say this to any and every parent out there. It is your job to reinforce education, common sense, and knowledge in your household. Why aren't the teachers, the schools, the curriculum teaching about agriculture? Things that you're gonna need in life. Learning how to make and process your own food. How about learning how to make your own clothes? See, they don't have those things in school because they really don't want you to be productive, but they're not going to tell you that.
How about money?
Great one, money. Why aren't we having classes on strictly money? How to build success, strictly on it. But no, they want to teach you ridiculous things that will have nothing to do with your life as you're getting older. So therefore, it's almost like the public school system to the jail cell, whatever the case, or however you want to look at it. But it's not for success. It's a facade. It is futile, most of the education you learn. Let me give you some more positive ones. Why aren't mechanics back in the school the way it used to be? I remember when I was in school, they had mechanic shop. That was a real part of the curriculum out of the schools now. I remember wood shop. I remember we built the actual house in the wood shop out of the schools. Now, when I say an actual house, it was like what you call nowadays tiny home. But we actually built it was a big shed that had steps, and we had to know how to build the window. Stuff that you could really use. See, all of that they taken out of the school now. But look, watch me. I'm gonna go even deeper with this. Watch this. Do you realize the average person from the time they are born to about the time they are 7 or 8, they learn more within that short period of life than they'll ever learn in their entire whole life? Now, I know a lot of y'all thinking, no, that's impossible. No, it's very possible. Matter of fact, it's very true. Let me tell you why. Do you realize once that kid is born, that kid communicating with their parents by crying? They learn to cry because they got to let them know, I'm hungry. I need my pamper change. They can't actually say intelligent words, but them crying and moaning, they know this how I get the attention I need. I got a diaper rash. This is things that they know. I want to eat more. I'm thirsty. I need to burp. This is learning. Let me go deeper. Watch this. Do you realize learning to walk is a sign of intelligence? Yes. Learning to walk. Aren't you going to be walking? Aren't you going to be walking all of your life? Unlike the useless education they learn in school, E equals MC squared, the most dumbest thing. But anyway, aren't you going to be walking most of your life? Learning to walk to a baby is a sign of intelligence. I could go further with this. Watch this. in the wild, let's compare it to the animals. In the wild, on the African plains, when you see a wildebeest, a gazelle, whatever, right? Do you realize by the moment they are born, I mean the very second that they are born, it is innate knowledge that they have in their head. Innate, just a big word to mean natural. It is natural, innate knowledge that they are born with, that they have seconds to learn to walk, to run. Because life is precious. Life is hanging in the balance. There's a lion watching them, and a lion is stalking them, and they realize that's easy prey. That innate feeling that gazelle, that wildebeest know, I got a matter of seconds to learn to walk, to run for my life. That goes back with the humans, with us. Learning to walk is a sign of intelligence. Once that kid learns to walk, within that short period, like I said, by the time they're born to about the time they're 7 or 8, that kid learns no, yes, good, bad, hot, cold, mommy, daddy, learn how to walk. And by the time they're about 7 or so, they learn how to read and write. Simple things. We all as parents been through this when our little kids even was watching their favorite cartoon show or something, and they was so into the cartoon. Every time the cartoon come on, you know, all the signs come up, the creator, this and that, the name of the show, whatever. And your kid, if it was like my kid, they was always like, Daddy, what that say? What that say? Daddy, what that say? If we driving in the car, every time they see a big billboard that had colorful things on, they go, Daddy, what that say? What that say? You be like, oh my God, listen, I gotta make sure this girl or this boy, I gotta teach them more. See, it's our job as the parents to teach them more. So just remember that. Life is precious, and even learning to walk is crucial. It is a sign of intelligence. I would encourage any and every parent out there, whatever you learned today, yesterday, next week, or whatever, share it with your partner. Share it with your kids. Whatever happened to bring your kid to work day? You know, that way the kid learns something different. You know, it's amazing how all the critical things that we should be learning in school, just think about it. Look at the setup. All the critical things, agriculture, learn how to plant and make your own food, learn to build your own clothes, learning about money, how to build a house. All the crucial things that we really need to know is not in the schools. But all the goofy, useful, futile, remember, incapable of producing a positive result, pointless. Most of the pointless stuff in school is what we learning. Look at nowadays, in this day and age now, a lot of kids are learning what they call the new math. It's the most ridiculous thing. It is a real simple thing. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 4 times 4 is 16. But with the new math, you got to go carry the 4 here, put the square box, and then you got to put the 4 over here, and then you got to carry the 1 over here, and then you got to put this over here, and then you got to go over this side, and then you got to minus that, and then you got to add the 2, and then you got to put the minus 3, and then you got to add this, and then you got to come down here, and then you got to subtract that from that, and then you got to put, like, what? What the hell? Once again, futile. So like I said before, and I'm going to keep saying it, books like this, and there's many more. It touches on another one of our great videos me and my oldest daughter, Ashley, did, and it's called Never Stop Learning. And we talked about so many great things of learning in that. But what I also encourage, just like I'm encouraging in this video, I encourage every parent to reinforce knowledge and education once your kid come home from that school of learning all that futile education. Now you encourage them what you learned today. You encourage your wife, your husband. I don't care if it's on your job. Yes, you said, I learned something new today. Remember, all of us in life, you should be learning something new every day.
Especially your culture.
Yes.
Make sure you teach your kids about their culture.
Yes, I
they
like
nobody
that.
In everything, even in the schools, they're not going to teach you that. They might speak a little bit about it, but it's not going to give you the full details about
I love that.
your culture. So
I
it's
love
very
that.
important.
Look at you as a Puerto Rican woman, right? How much did you learn about Puerto Rican history when you was in school?
We was never taught anything about Puerto Rico.
Now you see, futile, but they teach you about doggone George Washington, a freaking criminal.
Well, they throw in the word Spain, which is the Spanish Inquisition, but
tell
that's
you everything
about
Christopher Columbus, a rapist, a killer, a kidnapper, everything, a criminal, a liar, everything bad. But they tell you, oh, it's all good. And they ain't teach you nothing about your history. So I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep being redundant. It's up to you, parents out there, to reinforce knowledge and education to your kids when they come home from school. Teach them, as my wife said, about your culture. Teach them everything you learned in school. Give them stories of your childhood growing up. Teach them what you learned new that impressed you today at your job. Teach your husband. Share that knowledge with one another. Instead of pillow talking about gossip, let's pillow talk about, hey, honey, guess what I learned today? It might inspire your husband. Your husband might inspire your wife. What did I learn today? Learn something. And sometimes we learn the most silliest of things that may be common sense to someone else, but I didn't know this. You know, it's like I did the video the other day. My neighbor had to show me that little tool. I didn't know that you got to clamp that tool in a hole and all that. See, it's child's play to him, but I didn't know it. I learned something new that day. And I took the knowledge that he showed me and I shared it with my wife. See, that's what I mean. Share that knowledge. Let it be a unified thing in that home that you go, you know, I know this school ain't teaching you about your culture. I know this school ain't teaching you all the necessary things you need to learn in life. So that's why as a parent, I'm going to teach you. You know how gratifying it is for a parent to go in the backyard, plant some vegetables. Now, of course, most kids ain't going to be interested, but I guarantee this, give it a month or two and they start seeing it grow. Everybody's impressed with that. See? They're going to be like, oh, wow, mommy, they actually growing. Daddy, the stuff we planted is growing. It's impressive. They're going, you did that. So just remember all the futile stuff. Remember, incapable of producing a positive result or pointless. That's what futile means. And most of the education we learn in school is pointless. It's ridiculous how a lot of these kids get out of school and you could ask them, even when they're in school, especially when they get out of school, ask them what they learn in school. It's like, I don't know. Because it's pointless. It's futile, most of the stuff they learn. So in closing, what I would say in closing, what I have always been saying, like our other video, never stop learning. Reinforce education, knowledge in your household. I don't care how long your kid been in school, all day or in college or whatever case. Even for your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance. Hey, encourage each other. Inspire each other. Tell each other what you learned today and share it with one another. But you definitely share it with the kids to motivate them and definitely teach them about their culture. Because that is a missing jewel a lot of us had. Because as I said to my wife, growing up, you wasn't inspired so much about education, right? Because most of the time when you open up all the books, what did most of all the characters in the book look? White, 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 white. Or like my homegirl, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson said, one of my teachers. White, 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 white. Everything, it's like, man, what? So if I'm not seeing nobody in these books that look like me, talk like me, I'm not interested. Just like being of whatever race. In my case, black race. It's like everything in the book is white, 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 white. And then the teacher got the nerve to say, he's not paying attention in class. No. Show me some stuff that look like me, sound like me, inventions and stuff that we did. Crack the lie that's been told in a lot of, like this says, lies my teacher told me. Crack the lie. You do got some great teachers out there. Crack the lie that's being told in school and show this student, hey, your people did this. Your people did this. Let me show you this great invention, this and that, whatever. Great things, that accomplishments. See, this what makes a kid, ooh, I'm interested. Now, let me see that book. I want to know about this. Hey, on that note, encourage, educate, reinforce, always knowledge and education in your household and around you at all times. I don't care if you're going to the Simple Park with your child. Make sure while y'all walking that park, while y'all driving around, mom, dad, challenge your kid. After you leave that park or while you're in that park, tell them, what did you notice when we sat down? Was you looking around? Did you notice the guy over there with the blue jacket? Did you notice the lady over there with the 2 dogs? What kind of dogs was those? Hey, did you know the guy over there with the ice cream stand? Did you know how many seats he had? Did you notice the restaurant? What time is the restaurant open? Make them challenge them to pay attention to everything around them. And it's always got their mind running. Peace. Subscribe, share, like, and comment.